Alright, year 7's moving on to rendering. What we're going to do for rendering is make sure everything is dark on the outside, and then it slowly starts to get lighter on the inside. So I'm going to hold my very sharp pencil closer to the edge, and very carefully start to build that pressure and create those dark tones. Now as I'm doing that, I'm trying to spread it as much as possible to each of the corners, but immediately I'm going to start using that circular motion and start getting extremely light to that point. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. Make sure you slow down and be careful, because you can't rub your pencil colors out. So make sure you're careful, because you are working with a darker color and you want to make sure there's some accuracy and neatness in your work. So I'm going to go ahead, press that dark on the other edge, and just like that, go dark, medium and light. Use that circular motion and start to release that pressure. Do the same thing on top, and that should be your first layers now done on each corner of the shape. Once you've done that, you've done the hard part. Now you can start working on the edges. Apply a bit, hold your pencil slightly closer together. Start working on the edges. Apply just pressure on the edges. Then start to use circular motion as you start blending those in. Just fill in any gaps that's missing. Excuse the light keeps going on and off. We'll ignore that for a second. And you should be able to start to see your shape forming and the shape of the colors coming out in a form of rendering technique. This is a really fun technique, and we're going to have lots of fun when we get to practice on our sphere as well just now. So I'm going to apply that pressure, use that circular motion. You can do it small or big as you like, just make sure you're careful. I'm going to start blending it out. Now if I look at my rendering, the dark tones and the medium tones, it's not as dark everywhere as it is here. So I'm going to try to match that darkness by making it very dark and blending it out. I also have to make sure that darkness is blended into the other colors on the other side of the shape as well. So I'm going to start working in diagonal shapes, working straight. Start forming that together. Make sure there's a nice amount of color everywhere, whether that be dark, medium and light on my shape. Now make sure you don't use your hand. If you've got some shavings, you do blow it off. And all I'm going to do now is close off that white gap in the middle. You should be given a nice luminous highlight in the middle, just like a little Batman there. I'm going to ignore that. Once you're happy with it, you can have it more circular. It's up to you, whichever shape that you like. Now we're going to work on that as well here. Go dark all the way to the outside and go medium, and start going lighter as well. So you can do it in sections. Make sure that you're not doing long strokes, but rather small lines and circular motion, because it's a curvier shape, because it's a curve that we're working with. We want to make sure that we're not exceeding the shape in the outline like I just did. You don't want that necessarily. So you can do one section at a time, or you can just go straight in with one side like this. Start getting lighter in the middle. So I'm going to start turning my paper around as I start working through, and you can do the same. Remember to make it dark, hold your pencil slightly further away and apply pressure, but just on the edge. Then slightly hold it loosely, use a lighter pressure and use that circular motion. You should start to see things to blend together a lot more. And that's all I'm going to do. And this is still my first layer, and for this demonstration I am rushing through it, but I do want you to take your time and have a good practice. Even though you're doing it on your learning mat, which means you've practiced already on your practice worksheet, I'd still like you to take your time and demonstrate your best skills, because we'll be putting this into our sketchbook and we get to demonstrate our skills and refer back to it any given time in our projects. And it's good to demonstrate our best skills and remember what we did to kind of create them. So all I'm now going to do is start blending in the blotchy dark tones with the medium. But all you need to do for that is use small circular motion, apply a little bit of pressure just between them, and you can start to see it all mesh together. And that's all I'm doing. Using that round motion, your work should start to blend and mesh together, just like that. And I'm going to do the top as well. Looks a little bit scratchy. Don't want it to be too scratchy. I do want some more medium tones. So I'm going to go ahead, start blending that in. You can use any colours. I've used purple because it's really dark, so I have to watch myself. This dark purple, I just need to be careful that I'm not applying too much pressure. And I did add a lot more pressure this time, and that's okay. It is still just a practice, so we are just practicing here. So you should be left with something like this. Oh, should be left something like this, and that's your rendering done. Your tonal shadings from before, your rendering now done. Quite happy with that. And next we're going to move on to layering.